Welcome back, folks, into another video. Yeah, welcome back, folks, into another video. Welcome back to another episode of Prices Are Too High. So the topic for this episode is going to be called Worst Landlords and Summertime Planning. So let's get right into the video, everybody. Welcome back, folks, into another episode of the podcast. So, so this is episode 17. Yeah, can't believe it. We're almost at 20 episodes into this podcast. So, excuse me, having my little drinky, so I'm having my White Claw seltzer. Yeah, so I'm having my white seltzer drink here. And I'm actually using the Prism app for the first time to record, because the only time I ever use Prism is to live stream, but I want to use Prism for something more as well. So I definitely want to use Prism for something more as well. I want to use it to take video, take photos, which is absolutely cool. I mean, I could do both those things on my phone, but I just kind of want to see like what the difference is. So I want to see how the quality on this Prism app will be. So yes, here we go. So we're gonna be, first of all, at the end of the podcast, I'm gonna be talking about summer vacations, and I'm gonna be discussing like how to plan in advance. How to book your airline tickets in advance, all those types of things. So, I mean, with planning, here's the thing with planning. Now it's the summertime, so you really have to plan in advance. Like, for example, I plan on taking a trip to Florida in September with a friend. But I still have to plan. I have not planned for my trip just yet. I have not planned. So what I'm gonna do after I'm done recording this podcast is I'm gonna go online, look at the airline tickets, see how much they're gonna be for September, the end of September. But I plan on going to Florida for a couple of days, but I gotta check his schedule, and I gotta let him know my schedule. So we gotta do what works for both of us as well. But we'll talk about that at the end of the podcast. But first thing I'm going to be talking about at the podcast, I'm going to start off with worst landlords. Yes, worst landlords as well. We've seen it all over the news, especially here in New York City. In New York City, we have this housing program called NYCHA. Some people in the black neighborhoods call it the projects, but that's not what it's actually called. It's not really called the projects. It is actually called it is actually called NYCHA housing as well. So that's exactly what it's called. But back to what I was saying. I've seen so much of it as well, so it's just really crazy. Okay. Alright, y'all, sorry about that. Got a bit distracted because somebody was live streaming tonight as well. I'm recording this podcast on a Monday night, so I did not know this person was gonna be live streaming tonight, so I got distracted, so I'm apologizing for that. What was I saying? But I just left his live stream so I can be able to finish my podcast. So yes, so as I was saying earlier, we're definitely going to be talking about how a lot of these landlords treat their lieutenants. So let's get started on this topic. So, in my opinion, I seriously feel like it's so disgusting how they treat the lieutenants, because we've seen it all over the news. The walls peeling, water ain't work, water is not working properly, and even in the wintertime, like the heat don't even be on because most of them gotta turn their ovens on. They gotta turn their ovens on just to stay warm. And in my opinion, I just feel like it's so disgusting that a lot of these landlords, they just don't care. They don't care about their lieutenants. They don't treat them right. And it's like these people are giving you, these people are putting money in your pockets, okay? They're putting money in your pockets. So that way you can keep your business moving, you know, because see, here's the thing though, this is what a lot of landlords don't look at, is that okay, like when you own a building, say for instance you got 30 lieutenants renting in your building, and especially if they're paying you a good $2,000 a month or $4,000 a month, and this is how you treat them. It's just unbelievable. It's ridiculous. It's so unbelievable. So ridiculous. I feel like it's so disgusting how they really treat the lieutenants. And you know what though? I really feel for those lieutenants because it's like, where the hell are they gonna go? Where are they gonna go? And I was just discussing this in one of my live streams the other day. I was discussing this in one of my live streams that I just find it so disgusting how a lot of these lieutenants really, this is getting hot. How a lot of these lieutenants treat how a lot of these landlords treat their lieutenants. You know, they treat them like shit, and they just crap all over them. They just don't even care. And in my opinion, like, it honestly just pisses me off because, like, I feel like they don't deserve to be treated that way. You know, like, let's just be honest. I feel like they don't deserve to be treated that way. No human being should be treated that way, no matter what they are, what the situation is, and where they're in. But I feel like no human being should be nobody should ever be treated that way. You know, and in my opinion, for those that are living in NYCHA housing, or that living in conditions where they could barely get water running or barely get heat, you know, barely get light. I really feel for them because I feel really bad for them, you know, and if I could honestly just sit there and just make a difference, be able to go and help those people, I would, you know, honestly. I really wish I could, but I can't. It's just what it is. But in my opinion, though, I feel like they deserve to be treated better, in my opinion, because I just feel like it's just flat out, again, you know, disgusting how a lot of landlords treat their lieutenants. And I feel like they deserve better. You know, they definitely deserve better. And this is the thing, especially if they're spending a lot of money in rent. They should be able to live in better conditions. They should be able to come to the house, you know, without having to see the wall peeling, or without having issues where the water is not working. And in the wintertime, when it gets freezing cold outside, they should be able to come into the house where there's heat. So, I mean, like I said, a lot of this I've really been seeing on the news. I just find it really disgusting. And the news and media have been showing a lot of this. How a lot of the lieutenants are really treated by the landlords. And some landlords just don't give a fuck. They don't. All they care about is the money. But what they really fail to realize is those people those people that you treating like crap, or those people that you crapping on, they're the ones that's putting money in your pockets. They're putting money in your pockets. That way you can be able to take the money and do whatever it is or whatever you need to do. So that's just in my opinion. But well, I don't live in NYCHA too much. I never lived in NYCHA, so I don't have a whole lot to say. Well, I will say this though. I will say this one thing, because actually one of my friends, I don't know if he still does, but I think one of my friends still lives in NYCHA. One time, like I was on the elevator. I was riding the elevator, and it just smelled like piss. It smelled like urine. So I'm like, they don't even upkeep the damn elevator. There's a lot of things that you don't upkeep, and it's like, seriously. And some people have to wait months for something to get done. But I feel like it's just flat out sad, you know. But honestly, I'm glad I don't live there. I'm glad I do not live there, and I feel for the people that do live there. I really feel for them. Because here's the thing, most of the people that live in NYCHA, they're on a certain income. Majority of them are very low low income, to be honest. So that's the only thing they can honestly afford, because a lot of landlords, they know they're not going anywhere. So majority of the time they're not going anywhere. So where are they gonna find better at? Where are they gonna find a better place at? Because a lot of places in New York City, they charge like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month for rent. So if they try to go and look for a place that's more fancy and that's more nicer, they're gonna have to spend more money, and they know they don't have that kind of money. So again, definitely, you know, my heart really goes out to those type of people, and I feel bad for them. In my opinion, I really feel like they deserve to be treated better, in my opinion. So that's just honestly what I'm saying. So I feel like they definitely deserve to be treated a lot better, in my opinion. So that's all I'm just saying. But anyways, folks, we're gonna get into summer vacation and planning. So that's what we're gonna do next. So let's talk about summer vacations, everybody. Summer vacations, yes, it is that time. It is that year is finally here. Summertime is actually the official first day of summer is June 20th. So that's like 24 hours away. So we all know the official first day of summer is coming. Everybody's planning, everybody's going to travel, everybody's gonna go and see families, do different things. And you know, with the warm weather here, there's gonna be a lot to do. So yeah, we're up to summer vacations. You know, how to plan. You know, there it is. So for me, for example, I'm planning on going to take a vacation in Florida this September. I'm planning on going to Florida in September with a friend. So what I am doing is that, well, I have yet to start planning, but I need to start planning. I need to start going on and looking at airline tickets and see how much it's gonna be, and also start looking into hotels. I'll probably just have him look into the hotels, and I'll just look at the airline tickets, see how much that's gonna cost. Because I don't know anything about booking a hotel. I never had to book a hotel. I never had to arrange any dates or anything like that. So, yeah, so here's the thing. When it comes down, so now that it's summertime, it's gonna be hectic. We all know the prices are gonna be up. So the prices are gonna be skyrocket high. So how can we navigate that? You know, how can we plan? You know, being that we're gonna have to pay a lot of money. Because vacations are not cheap. They're pretty expensive. So let's just be honest, they're pretty expensive. So here's one thing though, personally, In my opinion, though, as far as like planning, like as far as summer vacations go, I think you should like plan your summer vacation at least 30 days in advance or more, or plan months in advance. Some people plan up to a year in advance. So if you want to plan a year in advance, like if you plan on taking a vacation um, next July, you know, now would be a good time to start planning a year in advance, because we all know how the prices are going to be, and we all know what kind of money we're going to have to spend. So yeah, let's talk about it. So for example, now would be a good time to start planning for September, because before you even know it, September is even going to be here. So let me just give a few pointers as well, because you have to plan like how much money you're going to spend on the airplane, and also how much money are you going to spend on the hotel. What hotels are you looking into? And you also want to find cheaper hotels. You don't want no expensive hotels where you gotta spend $1,200 per night. No, you don't want that. So you want something that you can be able to afford. You know, you can be able to afford. So it's always good to plan. Like right now, the month is June. So if you plan to do something in August, now would be a good time to do that. If you plan to do something in September, now would be a good time to do that, especially around Labor Day, you know, the week of Labor Day. You plan to do something that week. You want to start planning for right now, because that time will be here before you even know it. So you want to definitely do that. So that's also important. Where you're going to be staying at as well. Are you going to be staying at a hotel? Are you going to be staying at a resort? Personally, in my opinion, let me just say this. In my opinion, I honestly think a resort is better, because everything is just right in there. Like when I was staying in Florida, in Orlando, maybe 5-6 years ago, wherever the case might be, 5-6 years ago when I was staying in Orlando, I stayed at a resort. So I stayed at a resort where they had the pool, and then downstairs, if you want to get breakfast, downstairs in the I'm not exactly sure where the breakfast was, but downstairs where the breakfast was, they automatically had breakfast. So, all we had to, the only thing I had to really worry about was lunch and dinner. But it was a really nice resort where I was staying at in Orlando. And I did go to some theme parks in Orlando. I've been to Florida before. So, me going back to Florida would be nothing new to me. So, but I'm just going to Miami. So, that's just the one part of Florida I have never been to. But, I do plan on going by the beach. I don't know how far along I will be. I don't know how far I will be from the beach. But if you do plan being by the beach, I would say like try to find a resort or find something that's like near the beach, you know. But I feel like resorts are better because they pretty much have everything. So they pretty much have everything. Like if you want to go swimming, pools right there. If you want breakfast, all you have to do is just go downstairs and have breakfast. You don't have to go out and buy breakfast. But that's just in my opinion as well. But it's been a while since I stayed at a resort. I've also been on a cruise. Now, if you plan on going on a cruise as well, you want to really plan for that as well. So, but let me share my experience of being on a cruise. So, I went on the last time I went on a cruise was for my 15th birthday. It was definitely for my 15th birthday. I really enjoyed being on the cruise. I went for my 15th birthday. The cruise, they have everything right then and there. They have a pool inside the ship. If you want food, they have that. Drinks, they have that. Well, I wasn't old enough to drink at that time, but if I was old enough to drink at that time, I definitely would have went for the alcohol, for sure. I definitely would have went for that. But it was really nice and it was really fun. So I really liked the cruise, pretty much. Will I be doing another cruise? It may be a really, really long time before I could do a cruise because cruises cost a lot of money. They can cost thousands of dollars, thousands of freaking dollars. So cruises can really cost a lot of money. But yeah, so back to the planning. You want to make sure you have a decent, solid plan, and also make sure you have somebody with you as well. That way, all the spending money don't really be all as far as spending money. All that doesn't fall on you. So, one person can take care of half of the course, and you take care of half of the course. So that's another way of doing it as well. So, and you don't want to find no expensive hotel. You want to make sure you want to find the right hotel and a hotel that you can afford. So that's what you want to do before you book that hotel. You want to make sure that it is the right hotel. So you don't want no hotel that's going to be charging you $800 or $1,200 a night. No, you want to find a hotel that's going to charge you cheaper than that. So yes, I think my friend had told me to as well. I think the best way you could also find a hotel based on how many stars the hotel is, but I'm not exactly sure because I never booked a hotel. So I never done that before, so I never did that at all. But anyways, I think that's all I pretty much have as well. Oh, and you also want to make sure how many days are you going to be staying at that place for. Like, I'm not exactly sure how many days I'm going to stay at Miami for. I'm hoping to stay at least a week in Miami, but if not, then it is what it is. If I wind up staying for a weekend, it is what it is. So if you plan on staying 10 days, wherever you're gonna be vacation at, you plan on staying 3 days wherever you plan on vacation at. Make sure you check the price for the hotel stays for wherever, for how long and how many vacation days you're going to be staying at. So you definitely want to make sure of that as well, and that you're able to cover all the costs. That is including airline tickets, also transportation. You might need to take a lift to your hotel. Your hotel wherever you're staying at, maybe about an hour away from the airport. You want to make sure you have money to cover that, food and everything. Spending money, all that kind of stuff. So it's good to plan, like as far as summer vacations, it's always good to plan weeks in advance. So you want to plan weeks in advance. Not weeks, but actually months in advance. You want to make sure you do that as well. Because if you don't, then it'll pretty much catch up to you. Pretty much it will. But anyways, I think that's it for the podcast. That's all I have to say for the podcast. But if you guys enjoyed this podcast, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys for being here as well. And by the time you'll be watching this podcast, it'll be Juneteenth. So happy Juneteenth to you guys, and happy Freedom Day. A lot of people worked really hard to make this day a holiday. So if you guys are at work, just take it easy. If you're not at work, enjoy your holiday, enjoy the day off, because I know not everybody has the day off of Juneteenth. And I think the next holiday right after Juneteenth is July 4th. And I will be at the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. I'll be there July 4th, which is going to be good. So I'll definitely be there July the 4th, and it's going to be fun. I'm going to be doing a full live stream on that. I'm going to cover that as well. But yeah, so, but anyways, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next episode of the podcast. After this podcast, I'll be up to episode 18, so I'm almost up to 20 episodes, which is really incredible. I started this podcast back in January, so I've been almost 6 months doing this podcast for almost 6 months. So that's how crazy time is flowing. It's been a fun podcast as well. It's really been a fun podcast. I definitely wanted to pick a podcast where a topic of the podcast where we can all relate in one. We can all relate because let me tell you this: there's somebody in this world that's most people are going through the same issues as one person in this world is going through the same issues as millions in this world. And money is the big thing that we're going through as well. I feel like it's one of the same issues that we are going through as well. So, anyways, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed the podcast. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode of the podcast. The next episode of the podcast will also be recorded. Anyways, y'all, take care, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.